what a superb quality of penetrating into nature. There is no sign of preoccupation of letting oneself be invaded by feelings evoked by nature, not even by fear, and at a certain point, the author is literally terrorized by this experience. There is an interplay with nature which gets filled with images and then gets empty because of mist and of the artist's spirit. This is an exercise that has been practiced for centuries by Chinese literati used to traveling within nature, and an experience totally foreign for the Western scholars until recently, and under Eastern influence. Even the romantic were not so much in touch with nature, but only with their own projection of nature, their own nature. Werther, for instance, or Jacopo Ortiz on nature. These are experiments that are becoming more and more frequent in the Western world as well, and fruit of East-West exchange, and emphasize the experience of beauty more than the concept of it. Like certain aspects of Eastern art, which have become supranational and used as icons beyond geographic boundaries. The most acknowledged Asian icon of this kind is the celebrated print by Hokusai, known everywhere as the Great Wave, which is often used to show the Asian dragons having problems with the economic fluctuations, for instance, without knowing who the author is, where it comes from. So it is a bit like the Joconde. Some pretend it's a French painting in Paris. This print is a work of such impact and archetypical power that it was immediately appreciated, not only in its native context, but also went beyond the culture in which it was created, providing the Impressionists with the impetus they needed in their quest to produce new art in the mid-19th century. Beneath the Wave of Kanagawa is Hokusai's most celebrated series. The three most usual elements in any landscape composition, the divine, the human, and the earthly, all feature and are given an equal measure of importance. Three boats are struggling through the stormy seas and are shown in between huge waves. One gigantic wave stands out, reaching up into the sky and curling its foaming, menacing crest over the boats like the claws of a giant dragon. The powerless crews let their fragile boats follow the natural movement of the waves in what seems to be complete submission to the power of nature. In the background, at the very bottom, and almost perched on the prow of the boat directly under the tip of the crest of the wave, stands the immobile form of Fuji, snow-capped and still enveloped in the mist of the night. It too received the first light of the new day and stands out among the waves. This work does not merely play on the contrast between the forces of light and darkness, between earthly and celestial power, graphically presented in the eternal symbol of yin and yang, one and the other, in the shape of the sea and the sky. There is also Hokusai's love for the action of man, his willingness to cast off for his daily grind, which, just as he reaches his lowest point, raises him up towards the crest on the waves of life. There is, too, his love of nature and his awareness of its divine spirit. Where has this great tradition ended, one might ask? As we saw with the understanding of landscape and nature in Chinese contemporary literature and Gao Xinjiang, we can find another similar development in the continuation of Japanese graphic art and design from ancient grandeur into contemporary brilliance. I think that no country, no culture can boast as long a tradition, as much creative diversity, as rich an output in the art of the poster as Japan. It is a genre that, in addition to offering a unique perspective of the more recent creations of the graphic and commercial art, presents a cross-section of society that is often illuminating with regard to the process of its becoming as an expression of those people, the graphic artists, who constantly keep an eye on society and communicate and, in the end, guide the taste through the images of aesthetic and formative quality. The exhibition Graphic Design from Japan, 100 posters from 2001 to 2010, curated by Rossella Meneganzo at the Fondazione Bevilacqua La Masa in Venice, extremely important laboratory of contemporary art, is a unique opportunity to enter this world fit for another until the 20th of October, filled with insights, peculiar insights into the land of the rising sun. Japanese graphic artists, like before the masters of the wood cut from whom they partly originate, have one peculiar characteristic: the force of an ancient tradition and the number. In Tokyo alone, there are 20,000 art directors in the Art Directors Club registry, plus other pure graphic artists, plus the specialists in typography, etc. So it's an immense, it's a city of graphic designers. The tradition of color, of line, of calligraphy, of aesthetic sensibility is present in the images with which they create and communicate every year the new reality of contemporary world. So they can inspire not just the West, the very way of doing art, which today may seem at times to have lost sight of its great mission, but which represents in these extraordinary works the continuation of an extraordinary tradition that's linking today East and West in this marvelous embrace. Thank you all.